5:06, let's call this to order. Are you going to roll call?
Yes, Danielle Chenoweth, Jennifer Locke,
Present.
Kyle Patterson.
Here.
Okay, moving on. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
I move to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, February 19th, 2025.
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Aye. Any discussion, Kyle?
No.
All right. Aye. Any public participation? None. Any correspondence? None. All right. Moving on. No old business, and moving on to new business. Treasurer's report.
None. Just
None?
kidding.
My headphones snapped off.
Yeah, at the end of January 2025, we did have $8,316,508, with a total fund balance of just a hair under $8 million. That represents 47% of our budgeted expenditures for the year. We ended the 7th month of the fiscal year with a surplus of $623,277 against a budgeted year-to-date deficit of $661,604. Our total revenue for the first 7 months was just a little over $8.6 million, or $741,994 under the year-to-date budget, mostly due to grants and contracts being under budget year-to-date by $925,000. Our total expenditures were just over $8 million for the first 7 months, that being $2,026,854 under the year-to-date budget, mostly due to personnel being under budget by $791,931, and French benefits under their year-to-date budget by $455,000.
Do we have to move to accept that? Or we just move along? Okay, cool. Moving on, approval of payments to the Board of Health appointees. These are Anonymous Treasurer Ron Fields for February 2025 service, and Attorney Bruce Wyman for legal services from 12/16/24 to 1/15/25 and 1/16/25 to 2/15/25. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Review of monthly credit card statements. And entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of lease agreement between CUPHD and Vermilion County for office space located at 200 South College Street, Danville, Illinois, for a lease period of 4/1/25 to 3/31/26.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of contract agreement between CUPHD and David No, DMD, for East Central Illinois HIV Care Connect Oral Health Services from 4/1/25 to 3/31/26.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of contract agreement between CUPHD and Kevin Elliott Counseling Group for East Central Illinois HIV Care Connect Counseling Services from 4/1/25 to 3/31/26.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval for contract between CUPHD and Ravi, I apologize.
Level
Thank you. Level-John DDS LLC for East Central Illinois HIV Care Connect Oral Health Services from 4/1/25 to 3/31/26.
So moved.
Second, I will note that on page 93 in the packet, it lists his payment as, quote, 50,0000. So we might need to just do a little amendment to that.
Amy said it's been corrected.
Okay, perfect, awesome. Then any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval, or number 8, approval of rental agreement between CUPHD and Daniel J. Mundy and Jacqueline S. Mundy as trustees for the Family Trust of Daniel J. Mundy and Jacqueline S. Mundy for office space located at 2003 South Banker Street, Suite B, Effingham, Illinois, for a lease period of 4/1/25 to 3/31/26.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval for revised employee immunization policy 9500-5.12.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval for check request payable to Surface 51 for Narcan digital ad campaign.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of agreement with videographer Andrew Soresko for document translation video services.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Approval of moving expenses for up to $10,000 from the deputy administrator.
So
Let
moved.
let me tell you about this. So we have interviewed someone from Utah, for a deputy administrator position. He's going to come out, he's very interested, very great candidate. We're bringing him out here on 28th. And then he had asked about moving expenses. I know we've done it, we rarely bring anybody in from, but, so I know it was done for Vito, I'm pretty sure, who was the administrator, but we've never done this before, so we wanted to propose it and have it in there in case he accepts the job and we need it.
Would he be tasked with finding his own movers and we would just submit reimbursement? Okay.
Okay.
That's,
Unless Pat wants to do that. I suppose.
as someone who's benefited from moving expenses,
Yeah.
it makes taking a job far away very,
Yeah.
it's much
and
easier.
He has a wife and kids, so
Yeah.
it's not just him moving out here. Otherwise, I'd say just leave all your stuff and just fly out. No.
Well, we have a motion from Mr. Patterson, I second. Is there any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of check request payable to the Urbana School District 116 for April to June billing for City of Urbana Youth Services.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? I do have one question. This is April of June to last year. Are we typically, since I'm new, I'm just wondering, are we typically?
Approval of check request payable for April.
Yeah, I was looking, the dates that were listed of everything was April to June of last year. It doesn't make any real difference, I'm just curious.
I believe that was for the Farm to School Youth Services grant, and we received notification that they had not received a check from us that we previously thought that we had paid, so we're catching up on that.
Let's pay them. All right. Is there a motion?
Luckily for all involved, that program's been cut at the federal level, so there will be no kids eating this summer.
They don't need food.
I'm kidding, they'll put it in.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval to check request payable to Flow Controls and Service Inc. for 25-009 AC replacement.
Number
So
14.
moved.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I skipped one, sorry. Approval of check request payable to the City of Champaign Finance Department for the 2025 annual membership to Champaign Community Coalition.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Now we'll move on. Approval of check request payable to Flow Controls and Service Inc. for 25-009 AC replacements.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Approval of check request payable to CS Construction Group LLC for MCH wall build.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
Real nice, Brandon. You're building a wall back there. Real nice. To keep them in.
With no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of, number 17, approval of bid from CS Construction Group LLC for MCH wall add-on.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of check request payable to the Champaign County Collector for Presence versus CUPHD with 100% prejudgment interest.
So moved.
Second, I do have questions.
Prejudgment interest.
Is this just to pay into the fund so it's available when everything's negotiated, or are we?
Yeah.
did we
No, well,
I didn't know that we
Yes.
agreed to 100% prejudgment interest.
I don't think that, we didn't, did we? It's just that it's
This is to
probably
pay
gonna
into
be
the
that,
fund.
we need to be ready for that.
As far as I know, that was already decided.
I believe, so
That was OSF,
it's
this
the
is presence.
prejudge, there's
The
prejudgment.
Presence is the OSF one.
So the prejudgment interest was agreed to, I believe. It's the post-judgment interest that was the dispute and that we've been able to resolve resolve in our favor. That is, there was a legal question, and Joel Fletcher has taken the lead on this for the taxing bodies. But I believe, and I'm sorry, I didn't bring my notes, I can double check and get that for you for sure. But the taxing bodies have been meeting with Joel. Have done a Zoom meeting, and there's another one scheduled for next week. But essentially, to finalize these two different lawsuits, or groups of lawsuits as they've traveled up and down to the Illinois Supreme Court and back. And I believe this then resolved it. Part of the issue was we needed to make that payment back and not wait for the treasurer's office to just reduce what they were paying us because of the taxing cycle. So this isn't a happy time for us, but it resolves it, and it resolves it with the best possible outcome given the rulings that we don't agree with, but the rulings nonetheless that are now the law of this case.
I will just note that from the county's perspective, as the collector is the one in charge of all of disbursement, we have voted to create like a specific, just one fund where everything will be tracked as there's a new incoming collector. So that way nothing's confused. This money is, so any taxing body is welcome to deposit in there while we're waiting both for this one and for the remaining Carl settlement. But it'll be clearer bookkeeping, easier bookkeeping, and a very good for a DART board as well.
Yes, but we still do pay the county collector.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, it'll pay, and then the county collector, on behalf of all of the taxing bodies, I believe will send out the checks, like those very big checks, to the most profitable healthcare entities in the country.
Have they decided to do the United States?
I don't know, I can suggest it to Joel.
Well, we are, I will be naming a new treasurer soon, so maybe that will be one of the questions. Is,
So
will
how
you
do you
do
feel
this?
about paying back taxes with a giant check?
It's legal.
It is legal.
All right, with no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 19, approval of check request payable to the Champaign County Collector for Carl II Hospital lawsuit settlement.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
Just briefly, this is the same sort of issues that we're dealing with both of these entities.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Approval of check request payable to the United Way of Champaign County for the Regional Community Health Plan.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Pending grant contracts for the administrator to sign. That is not something we need to talk
Nothing.
about. So,
There's nothing
yeah.
there.
Great. And our next meeting will be on April 9th at 5 p.m. and this is adjourned at 5:20.
That is Andy fast.
Yeah.
That is Andy